Um, well, Andy, Easter with 2 games in quick succession is always, it'd be nicer to be higher at the table and really be competing for it. But in terms of how it went, you must be pretty happy.
Yeah, I think both performances were really good, apart from probably the first 15-20 minutes at Stoke. We played really well. I think we deserved the win at Stoke. Maybe a bit disappointed on Monday, obviously being two goals up. But again, I think the performance was really good against a really good team who are obviously flying high. So yeah, 4 points out of those 2 games I think are not to be sniffed at.
No, and winning away at Stoke is not an easy thing to do, and you said Borough doing well, and especially you look across this season, I think, well, you tell me, in previous years when you've come up against the top teams, sometimes there's been a little bit of a gap and maybe you haven't quite been able to match it, but I can probably go through half a dozen games this season against top 6 sides where you've either got results or you could easily have beaten them.
Yeah, no, I think at the same time that's probably a little bit frustrating for us that we can compete with those teams, but haven't done it over the whole course of the season. Probably that's where we obviously need to improve for next season. But yeah, I think even though we've got a young squad, as been mentioned, we're confident against those big teams. We believe in our ability. We're on a good run, I think, at the minute. How we're playing, maybe results-wise, could be better a little bit, but I think how we're performing, we're doing well. So yeah, we've got no fear against anyone, to be honest.
Yeah, and as a collective, it seems that has really, you've had different squads, different dressing rooms over the time, of course, your time here. I'm struggling to think of one that's probably closer knit than at the moment. How do you see that?
Yeah, most definitely. I think when I first came, we had probably a way bigger squad than when we do now. So that obviously helps as well when there's a smaller squad, because I'm not saying anyone was like bad around the dressing room, but when you're so close, when there's only a little squad where everyone thinks, I can play next game, I can play this game, that everyone's like pulling in the same direction, rather than some people might think, I'm not going to play anyway, or I've got no chance of getting in. That maybe distracts a little bit, but I think this season we've been a really close-knit group, and obviously a lot of young players, they all know each other well from probably coming through the youth teams together, or they're all around a similar age, and then there's us, a few older lads who still hang around with them. But yeah, no, I think we all get on really well, and hopefully that can continue like that. Yeah,
I'm sure you're keeping them in their place, but actually, as well as a lot of them have done, and they're getting plaudits for that, creating the right atmosphere is a whole group thing, isn't it? It's not just the youngsters doing that. It's yourself, Matty James, Andy King, the more senior figures.
Yeah, I think, I said, all of us has bought into what the manager wants to do. I think he wants us to have a really strong relationship between the players. He wants us to drive it off the pitch, how we are in the change room, how we speak to each other, how we stick together if things are not going well. And yeah, I think obviously us more experienced lads have tried to help the younger ones, but they've pulled in the same direction as us. And yeah, as I said, at the minute it's looking really well.
Yeah, and people, human nature is that you want success yesterday. You want to be at the top of the table now and playing in the Premier League. But you look at the last 18 months, last season into this one, realistically, you can see the things that are improving, and if you can keep that going, who knows what happens next?
Yeah, of course, the dream is to get promoted. I think, you can definitely see an improvement, I think, from the way we've performed over the last 15, 18 months. I think we're now showing what I think the manager wanted to instill in us, with obviously energy, pace, counter-attack, hard working together. I think you can see that nearly every performance now. I don't think there's been too many performances where you can say, maybe we've lost the game, but I think we've always tried to. And I think the fans always see that we try to work as hard as we can. We always try to give it our all. And I think we've got that identity now. And now it's about, as I said, now making that consistent over a whole season, next season, against those big teams, against the smaller, so-called smaller teams. And that's the only way you will get promoted, if you do it over a whole season, not just 12 games unbeaten and then go on a little run where you lose. So now that's the next step for us, I think.
And I suppose, bearing that in mind, the next few weeks are going to be important, aren't they? Because if you can kind of prove to yourselves and the fans and everybody else that you can have a really good, strong end to the season, then you look at the whole second half of this year and you think, well, actually, you do that over a whole season and you will be there or thereabouts.
Yeah, it's important in that sense. I think that we go into the summer with good momentum. Everyone's confident, but I think I think the manager obviously says it anyway. There's not a game that isn't important. I think everyone's got something to play for, whether it be people who might be out of contract, whether it be people who are not in the team at the minute, still want to prove, I want to be here next season, I want to play. So there's always something to play for. So I think we don't have to worry about our squads taking it easy for the next 5 games. I think we've already seen that over the Easter period, how committed we were in those 2 games, and the next, is it 5 games? All right, so, yeah. 5 games, we'll see the exact same attitude and then try and win every game. Yeah. Whether we can do that or not, we'll see, but we definitely won't let off.
Okay, well, I hope the first of those comes at Watford, and as a team, the early match of the season you played really well against, and maybe didn't get the win you deserved. In seasons past, you've had some tough times, particularly there, but I'm sure you're going into this one feeling like you can go and give them a right good game. Yeah,
I mean, I was, well, not lucky because I was injured, but when we had that defeat, I wasn't there, so I actually haven't played there with Bristol City yet. But yeah, in the home game earlier this season, I think we probably should have won the game. It was probably one of our better performances before the World Cup break. I think it was a 1-1 draw, but yeah, we know that we can compete against them. For them, I think they've still got a chance of getting into the playoffs, albeit not such a big chance as they probably wanted it to be. But yeah, they've got stuff to play for. As I said, we want to win every game we play, so hopefully it'll be a good game and we can go there with confidence after those 2 games we've just had and hopefully get some more points on the board.
Super. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
How are you enjoying the captaincy?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I think I said it when I first got. I don't think a lot has changed, to be honest. I'm still like the same person and the same around the team or around the training ground. Apart from sorting all the tickets out for the lads, I haven't really done anything else, to be honest, at the minute. Yeah.
I mean, you sort of answered, but what sort of captain are you? Because there's lots of different types. I'm sure you've played under lots of different captains down the years. How would you sort of assess your leadership skills?
I think I get on with everyone in the team. I think whether it be younger lads, older lads, I think I can connect with everyone. I think I've got good relationships with everyone. So obviously I try and help the younger lads. I try and speak to the older lads what we can help the younger lads with. And yeah, I think I've got a good relationship with the manager, with the coaches. So just be around everyone and just try and help as much as I can. But as I said, I've done that before anyway. I think I've always been like that. And then on the pitch, don't think a lot has changed. I think I still try my best. I still work as hard as I can, try and be an example. But I was that without being captain. Maybe I'll speak in the huddle now before the game. But apart from that, I don't think a lot has changed. We've got loads of people before a game who will say stuff in the changing room. That obviously when Dan was the captain, he was doing it, but also I was doing it. Matty James, Andy King, Naki, the younger lads. Everyone says what they feel they need to say. So I think just as I said, just try and help as much as I can. But not a lot has changed to what I did before, really.
Because you say not a lot's changed, but obviously you've sort of matured as a player, and I guess it sounds a bit corny, but as a person, given how long you've been at the club now. So you must be a different person now to the one that when you arrived, was it 5 years ago?
Nearly 5 years, in July, I think.
So how do you, I know it's hard to talk about yourself in that sense, but how do you think you've changed?
Changed. I don't think I've changed as in like what I did when I first came in. I still tried to be open with everyone, tried to speak to everyone, be around everyone. I think maybe I've changed more I can look at things a little bit differently now. Maybe when you're a little bit younger, everything's either really good or really bad. Maybe now I'm a bit more, we've lost the game, but this was good. We did what we wanted to do. It's just sometimes the other team was better than us. You can look at it from that way, and then maybe the next day when we come in, you can then talk it up to the lads a little bit more. I could be a bit more positive rather than when you're a little bit younger. Maybe you lose the game, you come in the next day and you're like, everything's bad. Maybe in that sense I've grew a little bit. But yeah, apart from that, maybe I'm more confident. I think I was always, even now to be honest, like speaking in front of people is probably one of my worst fears. So I could like play football in front of loads of people. If I have to stand on like a stage and speak, that's probably one of the worst things I could think of doing. But I think I've got better at that, speaking in front of people. So yeah, I think with age that comes, I think, yeah.
Do you do anything to get better at that, or is it just a matter of doing it, like the speaking part?
I think it's almost, I think everyone respects me, I think. So it's almost like you can say what you think and I know that they won't laugh at you or they'll take you seriously because you're trying to help them. So maybe it's almost a little bit like when I first came, maybe I was a bit maybe too shy to say stuff that I thought, but now I think it's almost like, yeah, look, I know I've been around, the lads know I've played, I don't know, nearly 500 games. I know what I'm talking about, and I'm more confident in myself to just open up a bit more maybe, rather than before I was probably a bit, like I said, shy, and yeah, a bit more open now and just say it how it is, I think.
And is that's on a match day, or is there things at the training ground that you do, or off the field?
Yeah, just everything. I think, like in training, if there's something that I think isn't going right, I think you can say it. Like, that's not just me. If someone else sees, or maybe I'm not doing well in training, someone else can tell me, "Oh, come on, you're better than that," and stuff like that. Or if someone's doing really well, sometimes even praise is probably one of the most important things in football. Even just like a simple pass or something, you can say well done, and that just helps other people out. So just stuff every day, really, just a little more things saying, be a bit more open to everyone, and yeah.
Is that conscious as a captain when you talk about the sort of the praise thing? Because I don't want to, but there is a sort of responsibility, and you say everyone respects you. So when Andi Weimann says, "I've just made a good pass," obviously it was a good pass. Are you sort of conscious your role with the younger players to do that now than before, when maybe you were a player and you're in your mid-20s and you can have a moan and it doesn't have that much of an impact, whereas now you have a conscious thing where you have to build people up to a certain extent?
Yeah, maybe in the back of my mind a little bit. I think, yeah, I keep saying it, but I think I'd like to think that I did that before anyway, in the last couple of years at least, that I did those things. Maybe, yeah, in the back of my mind I might think, oh, I need to run a bit more because I'm the captain and they look at me, I can't let myself down, or something like that. Maybe that's like in the subconscious, but yeah, I'd like to think that the last year or two at least I've done those things anyway, even without having the armband. On
the dressing room, it was obviously, you say it's a smaller squad and there is sort of great unity between the older and the younger elements. I mean, how has the dressing room changed, the dynamic, the atmosphere? I appreciate a lot of it is often linked with results. But how is it now, different now than when it was, say, last year before that?
I think, as I said, all the younger lads just bring the energy of, like, it might sound wrong, I'm not trying to say it wrong, but they just love playing football. When you're younger and you just start playing, you're like, everything's about football. Whether myself, I love playing football, don't get me wrong, but I've also got children and I've got other things, but they just every day come in with the energy and they're just ready to go, always smiling, always jokes or what they've just seen on Instagram or whatever, TikTok. So there's that sense, and then I think as all the lads are just quite enjoying it, just being around it. Maybe for 2 or 3 hours we get away from our children and just be kids again, kind of. I think it just works, to be honest. We just get on, and we're happy. Like when we travel to an away game, we're always downstairs in the players' lounge, everyone together watching the football or playing games, and it's just, I don't think the squad's just clicked, to be honest. It's just really, really good at the minute.
What are the sort of games you're playing on away trips? Yeah,
some of the lads will play. The last few games there's been like a dartboard or a table tennis table where we've just played like that, or then I think the last few games we played on a Sunday, it's been like Soccer Saturday's been on, where we've just all sat together, watched the results come in, or there's always a Friday night game on, so we'll have dinner, and then no one goes back to their rooms, everyone stays down there, watches the games. It's just, everyone, I think everyone's happy in each other's company. It's not like you finish and you go home, everyone's still here now till 2-3 o'clock and like hangs around with each other, so it's really good, I think.
And how are you on the hockey? With a dartboard, where do you is there a team ranking? Or?
No, not the best. I mean, I can throw a dart, but I think Belly's the best, to be honest. I think Sam Bell's quite good. We play from 101 down sometimes, and doubles. Not good at the doubles, to be honest.
On the sort of football side of things, the kind of the system's evolved, hasn't it, as the season's gone on, and then you had that kind of period out the side as the teams changed. Did you have to adapt your game at all, do you think, when you came back into the team, or did it take you a bit of time to get up to speed with the slight changes, or am I overstating that?
No, maybe a little bit. I think obviously last season I played in behind 2 strikers pretty much the whole season, and this season I started off there, then I went to wing back, and then I came back, and then I played on the right side of a front three. That was a little bit different than playing as a winger, or then coming back into the 10, playing in as an 8. So yeah, I've played a few positions. So yeah, I think of course sometimes you have to adapt a little bit more. I still believed in my own strengths. I still know what I can do. Just the team is obviously set up a little bit different. So yeah, maybe it took couple of games to get used to that again. But now the last few games, obviously I played in the position I'd like to play again, like the number 10. And yeah, I enjoyed that. So hopefully I can get a few more games now.
How are they different? How do you see them being different, particularly the right-hand side and then the more central row?
Well, I think, obviously, I guess there's no secret. I've always said I think through the middle is my best position, whether that be as a striker or in behind a striker. As a winger, I know I can do a job for the team, but I'm not someone I'll take the man on and do 3 or 4 step overs and get past someone. That's not my game. My game is making the runs or my movement or coming short, linking play. So obviously playing out on the right, that's a little bit different. So yeah, I had to try and adapt that. Obviously probably say more the play might go for the left hand side, and then I might hope that I can arrive at the back post and stuff like that. And then obviously in the middle that's where I'm more comfortable because I can run everywhere, to be honest. And as I said loads of times before, as long as I get in the team, I don't really care where I play. I know I can do a job for the team, and that's what I want to do.
Just finally, how's life kind of back on the international stage? Like, have you got sort of hopes and dreams for Austria now?
Yeah, I mean, it's been nice being back involved in. I think it's the last 3 or 4 squads I've been back involved in. I think obviously there's the European Championships next summer. That'd be a dream because I've never been to a big tournament, and that would probably be the last one, if I'm being realistic, that I could probably make. So yeah, I've got to play well here to stay in the team, and obviously I think there's some games in June and then again starting next season. So obviously if I hopefully have a good season next year, hopefully I can make, and we can hopefully qualify for that, and I can hopefully get in that squad. Yeah, that'd be a dream.
And there's obviously confidence that you can qualify for that tournament within the squad. You feel you're more than good enough?
Yeah, I think we've got a really good squad, to be honest. I think obviously we've got a few standout players, and then most of the squad all playing in the German Bundesliga, so loads of young players as well. I think obviously I'm 31, and when I went the last time, I think I was the second oldest, so yeah, I felt really old, but so we've got a young squad, so obviously hopefully they can keep improving over the years. But for me personally, I think we've got a good enough squad to qualify. Definitely, that is definitely the aim, and yeah, hopefully I can make that squad next summer.
Nice one. Cheers, Andy.
Thank you.
Hi, Andy. Obviously returning to your club this Saturday. What memories do you have of your brief time there when you were a youngster?
Yeah, obviously I think as spoke about, I think it's 12 years ago that I went, so it's a while ago. Obviously a lot has changed since. But yeah, for me it was my first professional games really that I played. I scored my first professional goal for Watford. So yeah, I think it was like 20 games that I played for them. But I had a great time there. And yeah, I can only say good things about the club, to be honest. It was 5 months I think I was there, but yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. And just on this season now at Bristol City, the players and staff obviously set the target. The players and staff set the target of the playoffs earlier this season. Obviously now with 5 games to go, 9 points off those places, injuries haven't helped. How kind of big is it? A big frustration and disappointment you're not in the mix with 5 games to go for those playoff places?
Of course you want to play for those playoff places, yeah, of course you do. But I think for us, I think now all we can think about now is I think we're on 52 points now, so obviously we try and get as many points as we can and see an improvement to last year, finish higher in the table than we did last year. And yeah, of course we want to get promoted and we want to be involved in that fight, but yeah, mathematically it's still possible. Obviously it's likely not to happen, but we want to win every game, as I said before, and just see how many points we can end up with.
So I think 3 points maybe off of last season's total at this point, but even though that target hasn't been achieved, how much have you seen the team kind of progress and develop over this season, kind of from the start? You think of maybe the defensive frailties and kind of just the togetherness of the squad. How's that developed?
Yeah, a lot. I think, as I said earlier, I think in the last year or so, the way we're now playing, I think, is how the manager sees us playing. I think the fans enjoy watching us, I think. We've got an identity now where we are, as I said, pace, energy, hard work, and yeah, I think that's come together really the last probably 5-6 months, and yeah, hopefully we can carry that on to the end of the season, and as I said, build momentum now and take it into next season.
Omar Taylor-Clark has kind of made his way into the first team fold of late. What skills does he possess that kind of allowed him to make that progression kind of quite seamlessly into the midfield?
Yeah, I think he's trained probably the last 3-4 months with us every day, and he's not looked out of place. I think he's very energetic. I think he's really quick around the ground, likes to tackle, likes to win the ball back, and yeah, he's been great the last. Obviously, I think he had 3 starts in a row, and he's been good. Obviously, unfortunately, I had to come off against Stoke, but he did well. Swansea was his first game. He did really well for us there. Yeah, his strengths were definitely, I think, winning the ball back and like around the ground, being like one of those players you don't want to play against because you know you're getting kicked probably in training as well. He doesn't mind a tackle, but yeah, no, it's good. Another youngster coming through, and obviously the more the better for us. Yeah.
And obviously with Joe and Cal out recent weeks, you've kind of dropped into that midfield role alongside him. Have you given him much guidance or advice in his first games?
I think his first start, I didn't start. I think it was Andy King, I think, played with him. So yeah, knowing Kingy, he definitely spoke to him loads in that game. Yeah, the other games, I think, as I said before as well, it's not just Omar. Every other player as well will try and speak to and try and help. And give him advice in training, what to do, where he's best positioning himself, and yeah, definitely do that in games as well.
Yeah, and over the recent week, Alex Scott's been nominated for Championship Young Player of the Season. Much deserved, in your opinion? Yeah,
definitely. I think I've said it loads of times how good I think he is, and yeah, it's great for him to get nominated. Hopefully, he can win it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know even though his big aim of adding more goals to his game hasn't quite progressed as soon as he'd have liked, what strides have you seen from him on and off the pitch this season?
Just, I think the consistency of how he's obviously played every single game. I think up until this little injury now, I think he played every game pretty much. And yeah, the consistency for how old he is, obviously he's still only 19, is crazy really how good he's been in the last 18 months when he started coming through. And yeah, as I've said it loads of times in every interview I do, to be honest, like how good I think he is and how I definitely think he'll go right to the top. And off the pitch, he's brilliant. He's humble. He's staying, keeping his head down, keeping working hard, and yeah, he'll go really far, as I said before. Yeah.